I started singing early on. There was so much that influenced me, but because I was coming of age, I was looking for my tribe. I actually learned how to sing once I joined choir. I often reflect on those times, and I thought, I just need to listen to my soul. I just wanted to push more positivity. We were just, as a collective, needing more. We forget how valuable we are to other people's lives. Our resilience really is everything. If we cannot get these opportunities for ourselves, we will create them for ourselves.
Welcome to Angel City Culture Quest, where art, social justice, and the environment meet in Los Angeles. I am your host, Melina Paris, and I welcome you to this episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Angel City Culture Quest. Today, our guest is singer-songwriter Karina Nistal, an LA woman as much as a Houston woman, and inspired beats from her new release, Soulspired. Hailing from Houston, Texas, Karina is a multifaceted performer, recognized for her diverse collaborations. Her extensive range includes jazz, soul, Latin, hip-hop, reggaeton, and house music. Her new release, Soulspired, is Karina's 7th studio album, written entirely by her and released on her own independent label, Love Records. Hello, Karina. How are you?
Hi, Melina. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being here today. Here is some background on Karina. What is remarkable about her is her independent spirit, which has served as her guide both in her career decisions and in how she relates to and emboldens those around her. Soulspired, released in September, is inspired by COVID times, grief, love, and new beginnings. Karina has said her aim is to share a message of renewal and hope, and to remind her listeners how important our lives are, how much our time matters, and how much we can make a difference when we're inspired by our soul. Karina, who is of Mexican and Cuban descent, loves displaying her roots and culture. In fact, 3 of the 5 numbers on Soulspired are in Spanish. One song was produced by Karina's good friend DJ Hiroking in Tokyo. Other notable collaborations are from DJ Eldermain, Free Radicals Band, and longtime collaborator Jay Hott. Growing up in a mostly Spanish-speaking household in Houston, Karina heard many styles of music exchanged between her parents and her 2 older siblings. After growing up in this very diverse city, she got involved in the local music scene. Karina notes she developed her range for sound because of Houston. So I thought, let's discuss Texas's long list of notable musicians of various genres. We have R&B icons Beyoncé and Destiny's Child, and of course Solange, Erykah Badu, Lizzo, and Travis Scott. Of course, there's Selena Quintanilla, whose catalog lifted up Tejano music in the 90s. And let's play homage to blues greats like Big Mama Thornton, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and T-Bone Walker, to name only a few. And rock icons like Buddy Holly, Roy Orbison, Janis Joplin, and Don Henley. From Houston to Dallas and Austin and beyond, musical artists of Texas can be counted among this country's most gifted musicians.
Absolutely. And I can't remember if you had ZZ Top in there.
Thank you. ZZ Top, of course. So, if people want to hear the range in Karina's voice, tune in to one of her musical collaboration reels on Facebook. You'll hear everything from her sultry covers to Latin-infused hip-hop, ska, oldies, and more. Coming from this place with so many wide-ranging, iconic artists, did that lineage influence or inspire you as you were first stepping into music, Karina?
Absolutely. The diversity really showed me the range of music and music that was coming out of Texas. The local music first and foremost, but I just thought, this is incredible. Like, I could take it anywhere.
Yeah. So you told yourself as a small child that you wanted to be a singer, and you have exceptional control in your voice. When did you start singing, and what did you do to develop your voice?
Well, thank you for that compliment. I started singing early on. My mom drove a Buick Riviera and she just put on the radio and I was in the back singing. But I'd say that I actually learned how to sing once I joined choir and worked one-on-one with my directors grade 7 and on.
That's great. So, when you first approached becoming a professional singer, it was in the 90s, and it was a very different time before we all
Yes.
had computers and devices. I'd say you had a very pragmatic strategy. You actively looked for producers to produce your music. Can you talk about that period and meeting the folks from Rebel Crew who inspired you so much?
Oh, that was such, I mean, I often reflect on those times and going to open mics, and I used to fly girl, I used to dance a lot. And so there was so much that influenced me at the time, but because I was coming of age and I was going out, I was looking for my tribe. And I had worked with a few producers, but once I locked in with Rebel Crew, we met at a club called The Wax, which was our first like major underground hip hop club.
Oh, cool.
And so it was like just a mechanic garage in downtown turned into a club. And once I locked in with them, I couldn't get enough of their style. It was like kind of like breakbeat, hip hop, salsa, reggae, dub, mashup. And they were like a collaborative crew. So they were emceeing, DJing, dancing, doing poetry, just everything. So I just felt like, okay, I have found my tribe officially.
Wow. Yeah, it's a perfect combination. My goodness. Now, Soulspired, how did you come up with that name for your album?
That was during COVID. We just had so much downtime, so much time to be in our four walls that I just thought, okay, I need to just shut off the news and the media and just listen to what's going on within myself. Because yes, it's chaotic on the outside, which it normally is, but on the inside, I have some control. So I was trying to grow spiritually, meditating, praying, everything I could to bring that balance of calm and peace. And I thought, I just need to listen to my soul. I need to be soul inspired. And I was writing. I was trying to mimic one of my writing heroes, Melina Paris. I was writing as much as possible, writing songs and journaling and just trying to listen to what was happening within as opposed to what was happening outside.
Working it out. Yeah. Thank you, by the way. Before I forget, you had mentioned during that time with Rebel Crew, you're so inspired, but it was an education for you, and it was kind of a hard knocks education. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely. I didn't know a thing about releasing an album, publishing my music, copywriting my music, things that all artists should know. I didn't know a thing about joining ASCAP or BMI, those publishing companies that protect your music and start to add up your royalties, even though we don't get a lot of royalties in this country. We've had this conversation.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot from them. And I also learned, not particularly from them, but just by observing that there is a lot of shady business in the music industry and that I have to watch out for my best interest because nobody else will.
You're right, which led you to creating your own label. But
Yes.
We're going to get to that. So the messages in Soulspired reinforce that message of renewal that you discuss. Backing up a little, your writing process for this album went from January 2020 to September 2021. You said your strongest songs that made the cut on Soulspired went with your theme of renewal. Can you share what was going on with you as you were writing, particularly during quarantine, and what significant things informed your state of mind and your process at that time?
Whew. Well, as we all know, COVID happened March 2020. And at first, I was so worried about my loved ones and getting sick and dying. And my biggest fear happened June 2020 when my dad passed away, non-COVID related. He was so isolated. Thank you. I mean, it's nothing that anyone can prepare you for, but I turned to my music. Not immediately. I tried because I was just, a wreck over it. And I wrote Como Tu, which it was somewhat of an anthem for me because I feel like we're all so unique and special and we forget how valuable we are and how valuable we are to other people's lives. And so that particular song, even though I wrote it for my dad and I meant it to be like an upbeat song, it was a song dedicated to everyone. including
Mm.
I also had one of my old roommates in LA, Eduardo. He was also a big theme of the song because I was just, these are our relationships that had impacted my life.
Yeah.
My dad, my old roommate, and it was meant to be something dedicated to all. And then American Dream came because I was getting so infuriated with our government and with the politics and with the environmental crisis that I wrote American Dream, which was also a very deep song, but kind of wanted to keep it a little upbeat, even though the message
Mm.
was very real and direct.
Mhm.
And that's the one that we have the video for. And then the other song was 24, which I wrote just right before COVID, and that was dedicated to Kobe. I was so inspired by just how he moved everyone around the world. His number was 24, and I thought, this guy had 24 hours a day to accomplish everything. We have the same 24 hours. We can do it.
Yep. Spoken in true Karina form. Yeah, you talked a lot about the anxiety that you had experienced before through that time for a host of different reasons, as you mentioned. And you mentioned about going live on Facebook. Can you talk about that?
Yes, that was so much fun. I wanted to do something for my community and I didn't know what, and it's not like we could have a whole lot of contact. So I kept seeing people. Well, at first I was going live and I was just talking to people. Like if someone came into the conversation, I'd be like, Melina, how are you? You know, what's going on in your world? And, we'd start to sort of engage in a conversation and then touch base with others. But then someone kept saying, why aren't you singing? Why aren't you singing? And so I thought, okay, let me actually do a song or two or three. But I thought what would be interesting is getting the background on the song, the history, what label released it, if there was any prior makes of the song, like if it's the
Hmm.
original version or a remake or whatever. So I'd look up all the background on the song and then I'd perform it. And if there were multiple versions, I would take the one that I felt I sounded best on and then just perform it and have fun with it. And that was definitely a fun way to engage people and distract them and take their minds off of COVID. There was
Yeah.
also a group on Facebook called Quarantine Songwriters I can't remember, Quarantine Karaoke. So I would post a video there as well and made some new friends off of that group.
And you called that Late Night Roll Call with Karina Nistal. Yeah.
Yes, because it was always after 10.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That
so turn into
works.
late night.
If you're just tuning in, today we're talking to singer-songwriter Karina Nistal, an LA woman as much as a Houston woman. Thank you for listening. Hello, culture lovers. This is your host, Melina Paris. For several months, we have been bringing you inspiring guests along with stimulating content about their work. As with anything, there are costs to keep this podcast going. So if you're able, join me in this quest with your support. Think of it as a cultural tip jar to share any amount that you're comfortable with. Or you can make a regular offering with as little as $4 a month. This will contribute to my ability to continue bringing you the great work of these artists, activists, and others, plus the cultural content that you want to hear about. I appreciate you, and I would be honored to have your support. To join, please go to our Patreon link at patreon.com/Angel City Culture Quest. There, you can also see all of our past episodes, get early announcements, and find more perks to come. Thank you. So later on into the pandemic, as we're still immersed in it, you said your creative output started picking up steam. Can you describe what was happening around that time?
Yes, I am in Texas, and Texas did not observe quarantine and masks as, a lot of the rest of the country did. So there was quite a lot going on. I was observing people going into businesses being very disrespectful to security when asked to wear a mask. I was just seeing people get violent, aggressive on the road, and there was a lot I guess that all entails an American dream, but at the same time, I just wanted to push more positivity. Like I wanted to be a positivity pusher as much as possible because there was so much that wasn't positive, so much going on in the news. We were just, as a collective, needing more good
Positivity. Yeah.
positive. And so I just kept writing and kept writing and coming up with different songs. And at the time, my boyfriend, who is one of the producers on the album, was producing quite a bit of dance music or house music. So we were just trying out different songs, some of which didn't make the cut for Soulspired, but we're still working on them or seeing if they'll work for a later release.
Cool. More to come.
Yes.
So you took that energy, the frustration with the COVID or lack of COVID measures and lack of protections, and you expressed it very well in a very relatable song, being American Dream. It's a very attention-grabbing video as well. It debuted in October on YouTube. It's an amazing video. We'll link to it in our show notes. And in the video, your face is painted with the Cuban flag, and then later with the American flag, and later on with the Mexican flag. What is the symbolism of those images painted on your face?
The symbolism was the best way to describe my background and how I grew up. And I have one, as you stated before, my mother's Mexican, my father's Cuban. That alone, them growing up in those countries that were so different to my upbringing, it was very, very intense growing up because they have their separate cultures. They had their separate income brackets. And when I say, I mean, really no income bracket, it's like you're either rich or poor. And
Right.
both of my parents grew up poor. So being here, I felt very privileged. And so I wanted to represent both of my parents' cultures because I am a proud Latina. And I wanted to also represent the fact that, yes, I am still American. And while it's not the same American dream that my parents came to, it is still an American dream for many, that many still seek out to come to this country.
As we know. As we
Yes,
know. Yeah.
yes.
So we talked a little bit about Como Tu, and it is very upbeat, I think, considering its inspiration. But I mean, the inspiration is a good thing. So it is a very upbeat song, and I encourage folks to check it all out on Karina's channels, which we'll tell you about later. And your song 24, that is a grooving house track. I was so proud of you when I heard it, and I danced.
Yay!
It was inspired by Kobe Bryant. Are you a big fan?
I wasn't. Like, I didn't follow all of his career moves, but how could you not be a part of this generation
The
and
awareness. Yeah.
be aware of his impact? And so, yes, I mean, I went to a few of his games before he ended up retiring, which was really
Cool.
Yeah.
That's nice. You got to see. That's great.
Yes.
Now, you frequently collaborate with another Houston band, which we talked about, the Free Radicals.
Yes.
And you wrote Buena Vibra with them.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your work and the names of the songs you did with the Free Radicals?
Absolutely. Free Radicals, it's an honor to work with these guys. They have been doing activist, protest, jazz in the most gnarliest artistic way.
They bring it. They do.
They bring it. They play protests. They play break battles. They play funerals, weddings, just everything.
And you said they're a marching band too?
They're a marching band too. Yeah,
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, there's like 20 of them or more, and they just break down into smaller groups depending on who's available. So it's been such an honor to work with these guys. They first approached me to work with them. My good friend Nick Cooper, the leader of the band, he approached me to work on a song, Estamos en la lucha. We're in the struggle, and it was about the children on the border. So I did a Spanish rap track for that on White Power Outage 1. And then White Power Outage 2, we did Ritmo contra Gitmo, which is rhythm with Guantanamo Bay. I actually have family in Guantanamo from my dad's side. And so the song, which Nick wrote, I mean, I was just venting to him one day. I can't send money to my family. We always, vent to each other on
embargo. Yeah.
Yes. And so he wrote this amazing song, and he also wrote another song, Bipartisan Baby Jail, for the
Yeah.
babies in
Yeah.
the border. So he sent me this big folder of loops that the band does on one of their live nights on Monday night. And he's like, go ahead, look through them, see if there's something you like. And that's when I stumbled onto Buena Vibra, which they had named something else. What I normally do when I start to record is I take some incense and light it. And this particular incense was purification and protection. And so I started with
Mm.
that lyric, and it just came to me like purificación y protección. There was so many conflicting ideas during COVID. My friends were going at it on Facebook. I had to clean my timeline several times. Even I was having differences with so many friends on just everyone's opinion. And I just thought, I need to cleanse just everything, not just my timeline, my house. So I was lighting
Everything.
my incense prior to recording, and I wrote this rap, and that's how Buena Vibra came about.
I love it. It's a great song too.
Thank you.
That's inspiring, making something work and turning it into positive.
Yes.
Now, you started your indie label Love, which is an acronym.
Yes.
You started it in 2010. The acronym stands for Living on Various Elements. What does that mean?
It takes so much for us to thrive as human beings. And those various elements are just things that bring passion, and not just passion, whatever makes your soul grow and be who you are. And so for me, it's music. So I try to couple everything with music. But my various elements of work are music, acting, whatever it takes for entertainment purposes or performer purposes. And those are my various elements. We all have our own, and then we have those necessities that we need as well. So yeah, living on various elements was just like everything done in love.
Cool. That's really nice. So, in all these years, this is your main gig, obviously, the singing, but you've also been doing other endeavors, acting, other freelancing, and contracting type of jobs. I want to note that you said during your time in LA, you lived here for 8 years, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Almost 8 years.
During your time in LA, you said you were influenced by film, style, music, and trends. Have these influences come through on Soulspired?
Absolutely. Every time I write a record, LA comes through one way or another. LA has influenced me so much in so many ways. And even just kind of to relax on how I write my lyrics and coming up with the melodies to the songs and composing the songs, to just relax, because a lot of LA hip hop or West Coast hip hop was very breezy. You can hear it breathe, but it was still such a groove. It's still such a melody. So I've definitely done everything I can to incorporate that great sort of West Coast feel, but stick to my Texas Latin roots.
The best of both.
Yes.
Yeah. So your story is an inspirational one for singers who are just coming up in the music industry. Your ability to always persevere, how you carry yourself graciously through everything you do, from engaging people and fans to your collaborative spirit. All this work and over this time, what have you learned through this?
That we must stay persistent no matter what. Our resilience really is everything. There's so much that's going to knock us down, and so many people that will say no. I've heard no so much in my life, and especially in this career, that I have just literally learned to roll it down my back. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have if you're not going to give me a yes, step aside, sir, because I need to find a yes.
Get out of my way.
Exactly. And I've also learned that if we cannot get these opportunities for ourselves, we will create them for ourselves.
That's how we do it.
Yes.
You have to create it for yourself. Earlier, you mentioned that your town inspires you so much. It was what you were talking about when the Houston Astros won the World Series and you were hosting a Day of the Dead festival.
Yes.
That speaks to your Texas roots. So it's kind of neat that you can combine the breeziness of LA and all the roots that you have come up in and learned from in Texas in your music and share it. And it's this great hybrid that you're putting out there. And I think it is inspirational, like I said, for younger people coming up, a model to watch and see. There's different tools we have today, but
Yes.
the perseverance is the foundation of it all.
Yes, Absolutely. Thank you, Melina.
You're welcome. So can you please tell us where folks can find you?
Yes, absolutely. I am Karina Nistal pretty much everywhere. And if it's not Karina Nistal, it's Karina Nistal Music. KarinaNistal.
Thank you. Well, Karina Nistal, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Melina. Such an honor.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and recommend on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.